This following segment is being brought to you by Speedy Link, the Metro PCS dealer with over 22 locations here in Tampa Bay, from Dade City all the way to Sarasota. Their main store is at 7813 Palm River Road, and that's in Tampa. Call them at 813-626-0297. It's 813-626-0297. If you go there and tell them that I sent you, they will hook you up with a great deal.
Live from Tampa Bay, you are tuned in to Hoppe Hour.
What's up? This is Hoppe Hour. I am your host, Ryan Hoppe. I'm here with my friend, who is also the co-host, AJ. What's up, dude?
Hey, Hoppe. How's it going?
Who is on the phone line right now?
So right now on the phone, we have Jason Woody, CEO and president of the Lion's Eye Institute for Transplant and Research Incorporated. Now, Jason, how are you doing?
Good, guys. How are you doing?
Very good. Now, actually, I know we're here to talk about the Rays 2020, but I feel like it'd be a disservice if I didn't mention your nonprofit company, the Lion's Eye Institute for Transplant and Research Incorporated. Now, you guys, for over 30 years, Lion's Eye Institute has been empowering research to conduct studies of healthy and diseased ocular tissue that would lead to a greater understanding of events that lead to blindness. And that is awesome. And I know that, what is the number? Like 45 million people in the world right now have like either preventable blindness or easily treatable blindness that can be cured. And it's just they're in impoverished areas where they can't really get these. They don't really have the medical benefits to actually alleviate their problems.
Yeah, that's correct. As far as we have been, in Tampa Bay since 1973. Since our inception, we've brought the gift of sight to 130,000 men, women, and children around the globe, and we currently provide sight to people in 81 countries. So we are truly a global organization right here in Tampa.
Wow, awesome! And also, obviously, I've been stealing a lot of this information from the website, but you guys donate over $1 million of your service to these people, and also thousands, and not only that, but thousands of dollars internationally to a lot of these people, which, good on you, man. Like, we get it. You're a nice guy.
I appreciate it. Well, we have a great organization. I'm so fortunate to have just an amazing team of people that are committed, 24/7, 365 days a year to helping those that are blind or visually impaired.
So now you seem like a guy who works all the time and is busy all the time. So the thing you work on the side is Rays 100, the thing to get the Tampa Bay Rays in Ybor City, Tampa Bay Rays 2020. How is this going? Because I feel like it's kind of going under the radar here in Tampa Bay, and this is why I wanted to have you on. It's to kind of give you a place to talk about how this is going. So how has everything been going with Tampa Bay Rays 2020?
Well, I think it's obviously better than anticipated. A lot of people have to remember this announcement of the ownership of the Rays deciding that Tampa was their option, specifically Ybor City, is only 60 days ago. And of course, in 60 days, everybody wants to hear something and how much does it cost and, what's the new design. But you really think about only 60 days ago was the announcement after all of this time of the multiple locations that they've actually chosen and decided that Ybor City is their location for this new ballpark.
So here's one thing I've been thinking about that I think is very annoying, and I want to get your take on it, Jason. I'm sick and tired of people saying that it shouldn't move to Ybor City because Ybor City is dirty and a weird place. Ybor City is a very odd place, but that's what's so lovable about it, and that's why I think it would do so well with the Tampa Bay Rays. They've cleaned it up. It's fun to be at during the day, and it'd be a fun place for fans to go to after the game. Wouldn't you say that Ybor City is the perfect spot for the Rays?
Well, so imagine this. So we moved our corporate office there in 2005. So that's the thing is before the Rays, decided on a location in 2005, we committed to move our corporate office. We have offices throughout Florida. We have an office in Shreveport. We could have our office anywhere. We chose Ybor City solely because of the community atmosphere where neighbors take care of each other. This is all of a sudden, it's a community of its own, and it makes it that much more specialized to have a ballpark of this nature. Coupled with is location. People don't talk about, there was an ABC study done from Tropicana Field that, 30-minute drive of Tropicana Field, there's only 600,000 people within 30 minutes drive. there's roughly 2.2 million people within a 30-minute drive of Ybor City. That number tells you alone of why this location is almost perfect.
And and you're not alone in your investment with the Rays. Like, you're not alone in the campaign for Rays 2020. You are part of the illustrious Rays 100. And now, can you explain to some of the listeners who the Rays 100 are?
So basically, I have the opportunity to co-chair this with Mike Griffin, and really that as far as they're really part of the Rays 2020 movement, and really our goal is really to actively promote, the Rays 2020, our circle of influence, garnering widespread support from the Tampa Bay community. We kind of act as advocates to the elected officials, participate in organizational communications, very similar like we're doing tonight. And part of our responsibility is going to actively support financial support for the Rays, in coordination with their efforts. One of the most important things for teams that are successful is to have corporate sponsorship and butts in the seats. We all know that. You have a filled-up stadium, you have great sponsors, they're able to put more money on the field, and obviously, a better experience, and, of course, and better results.
What has been the overall vibe whenever you've talked to people who are Rays fans? Are they cool with this, or are there some that don't want to leave the Trop? What has been the overall vibe about the Rays potentially moving to Ybor City?
Everybody has been excited about it. I was flying yesterday, day before yesterday, I was in D.C., and I was sitting, and these two guys were coming back to Tampa, and I didn't really tell them my role, and they were like, oh my God, they said, as soon as this happens, I'm going to buy season tickets. The trek to St. Pete's been's too far. I can't wait. They said, they're season ticket holders to the Lightning, and they said, I would be season tickets to the Rays if they were in Tampa. So, and these people were just unsolicited, just a conversation. And, and I think that's the general premise, as far as, is this that drive? That location's tough. I said the numbers clearly show we've got 2.2 million people within a 30-minute drive. Look at the expansion, Pinellas, Pasco, the 5-county regional area that it allows, access to.
Yeah, and so you can't beat around the bush. Tampa is basically kind of like a city of people who people from all around the country, whether it be snowbirds or people who kind of just are new to the East Coast lifestyle. There's a lot of transplants out here, and sometimes you want to get that home team crowd, but there's a lot of people in Tampa from New York who it's actually kind of inconvenient for them to drive all the way out to St. Pete. And from I think it was the head of the Rays organization talked about St. Pete and how even when the Rays were doing really well from 2008 to 2013, the attendance were still too low, and I feel, in my opinion, that the attendance will go up in Tampa because not only do we have the transplants, but also the diehard Rays fans, who I just feel Tampa Bay is more of a baseball city rather than St. Pete.
Well, and if you really, there's a couple things. One, I have to give credit to Mayor Kreisman. He made the decision. He let the Rays look for an alternative. We could have lost, the Rays. We could have lost them. People have to remember there's only 30 Major League Baseball teams in the country. If you do the math, half the states in the country don't have a baseball team. Mm-hmm. Imagine that. Because some states have 2 or 3. Obviously we have 2 as far as here in Tampa. So as far as in Tampa and Miami, excuse me. So that's the thing that's important. Why it would be such a loss for us to lose a major league team, any franchise team, be it hockey, football, or anything else, to lose this, because believe me, there are teams knocking on the Rays' door that would love to have them in their city and not in Florida.
Oh yeah, and also, I mean, I've been to Pittsburgh and Detroit, and what a lot of these franchises that really care about their city, a lot of their sports teams are close to other sports teams around. I think in Detroit, every stadium is within a 5-mile radius of that city. I went to Pittsburgh, I think 2 months ago, and PNC Park and Heinz Field are and PPG are within 7 miles of each other. And I feel like with that kind of setting, it's actually very beneficial, not only for not even just convenient for the fans, but also very good for business owners and very good for the local Tampa Bay community.
You are spot on with that. I mean, it is truly going to be an economic engine for Tampa Bay, especially Ybor City. As far as a ballpark, is a complement to other regional projects. You look at, we have Camp International, we have Water Street, we have Riverwalk. Everything that Mr. Vinnick is doing as far as this is a perfect anchor. If you look at this, bringing everything together from that whole corridor of what that can do. As far as, and it's already, if you look in the newspapers, 3 or 4 people, it's already creative. As far as a real estate boom, in Ybor City.
So here's what I want to ask you. So let's say it does move to Ybor. In the first few years, it's just popping. Everybody is going. What is the key to keeping the buzz there and just to make sure that it's not the first few years wonder and then it just kind of dies off? What would you guys do to make sure that you would keep fans there each and every year and that it's just not this buzz for the first few years?
Well, as far as, not speaking for the ownership, you got to put a good product on the field. Bottom line is, you've seen it before. We've seen the Bucks fans, Wayne, when they were on fire, that stadium was filled. As far as from that side, look at the Lightning. What are they? It's 2 or 3 years of complete sellouts every single game. But what do? You have a good product on the field, and I think financially, obviously with low attendance, low sponsorships, the location is. It's kind of going to maybe be cost prohibitive from the ownership in the current state. But you get to the point of all of a sudden that, we're filling up seats. Obviously, we've got corporate sponsorships there, and you're able to spend a little bit more on some of these players, there in the team. They don't fill up. And I have no doubt, based upon, what the community, how they've stood up for the local teams when they've been winning, as far as there, that the Rays will do the same.
So I work at 102.5 The Bone. I work there, and I work many events for the team. And what I do is I go to these Bolts games. I set up the tent. We play box hockey out there. Then you have the live music DJs, and you have all these cool things going on outside of the Amalie. Would you guys have the same setup for the Rays? Because I feel like that's the ultimate thing that this would need, is a place for families and friends to hang out. I think if that could be made in Ybor City, where the Rays would play, I think that would just be the biggest game changer.
Well, I'll give you some, I won't say it's inside scoop, but some things that have been rumored. First of all, we have to remember that as far as the Rays, they only play 81 home games. So you've got to the point of 280 days it's not being used. So some of the first concepts that have been discussed is to make it being used year-round. There's ideas about, workspace, public park inside of it. So they're already trying to be creative. Second, they are designing this ballpark to look exactly the best feel of, is that spring training. They don't want the whole big, we're looking at probably a ballpark of about 30,000 people, give or take, a couple thousand either way. So they want that spring training feel up close, like we all love a spring training. You can see, you can just see it, right there. You're right up next to the players. Thirdly, they've talked about like the restaurant concepts, and this is just a few ideas that were floated out. Where are most restaurants in a ballpark? On the inside. Their actually concept is put the restaurants on the outside. So during the day, how cool would it be to go happy hour at a restaurant then that's an outside of a ballpark that you can have access to even when the team's not playing there. So you're right on point with those comments of things, and and that's what's taking a little bit more time for development, for them to look at all of these ideas, and there's a lot of concepts coming forward before they bring something to the public.
Yeah, and also, honestly, just kind of wrap things up. I love what the Rays 2020 campaign is all about, and you can tell that like some of the leaders in the Rays 100. I mean, come on, you got Blake Caspers, Mark Sharp, Yvette Lewis from the NAACP of Tampa, Roger Gurman from Florida Aquarium, Troy Taylor. I'm not sure if he's part of he's part of the Rays 100, but he did express saying that he does support the Rays coming to Ybor, and Chuck Sykes of
is.
Oh, he is? Okay, good.
He is. Yes,
awesome.
Troy is. As a matter of fact, he's on the leadership committee for as far as the Rays 100.
Thank you for fact checking me. I don't want to give any wrong information out here. But
no, you did a good job.
Thank you. And also, just like it just goes to show that a lot of people still care about the Rays, and you guys definitely care. I mean, if you didn't care, you wouldn't have this. You wouldn't have had this campaign. And the thing is, we don't want anything the thing is, we don't really want anything too flashy. We're not asking for an aquarium in the ballpark like the Miami Marlins are doing. We just want a more convenient way to actually watch a sport that we love and support a team that we really, really care for. And, it'll be really nice to see that in this area. And we appreciate all the stuff that you guys are doing.
Well, thank you, and thank you for having us. It's support like this, as far as that you're offering to getting out to your listeners, so they can get behind it. The biggest thing is that we ask now is for them just to go on to to Rays 2020 and just and sign the petition. And the petition is really just to it's just to bring the Rays here. You know what I mean? So there's nothing else. It's not a financial commitment. It just show us a support. Drop down as far as drop us a note, sign the petition that hey, listen, I'm interested in this. I'm committed to seeing this, and and that's what we want to hear. We want to hear from the community. And
I might be wrong, but you guys have an event coming up on Monday, isn't it, at the Tampa Theater with aren't you guys doing a little promotion over there?
That's exactly right. They're going to go ahead doing a free showing of Field of Dreams, and I think how apropos for of what we're trying to put together. So as far as it's a classic movie that everybody enjoy, and exactly. So we're having a nice little event, a screening there at Tampa Theater. Obviously, you get a great chance to see the Tampa Theater fully remodeled, which is a nice thing. If many of you haven't been to that, it's a stunning facility, definitely a gem here in Tampa. And then coupled with all of a sudden showing the Field of Dreams, and there'll be a lot of the Rays 100 there, plus obviously other supporters.
Now, is there a price to get in, or is there do I have to pay money, or what's going on with that?
No, I believe it's free. Yes,
it's free, and I think you have to sign up. You have to sign the petition, though.
Yeah, exactly. If you would sign up, if you could sign up for it, correct.
Well, there you go. Well, there you go. I get I actually get to support something that I really want to happen, and also get to watch a classic Kevin Costner movie, Field of Dreams. That's really awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a great concept, and I think it really kind of just sets the tone, in that theater, just put in the momentum there, and that aspect of, and getting people around of all of a sudden build it and they will come.
Well, man, thank you for being on the show. Everybody can go to TampaBayRays2020.com and at TBRays2020 on Twitter. Jason, it's been a lot of fun having you on the show, and let's hope, because we know it's going to happen, let's have this happen in Ybor City, and go Rays.
Go Rays. That's it. Thank you so much, and you guys have a great day.
You too. Thank you, man.
All right, bye-bye now.
All right, bye. And if you want to see the Tampa Bay Rays, go to Ybor City. It's not hard, AJ. It's not rocket science. Okay. TampaBayRays2020.com. That is TampaBayRays2020.com. At TBRays2020 on Twitter. Before we wrap this up, AJ, I think it would be a huge, huge thing. I mean, like you said, it's not like we're the Marlins where we're trying to be all flashy and bougie like Derek Jeter is, having a fish tank inside of your place.
By the way, that's a stupid thing. I don't care. Who goes to who goes to a baseball game and is like, you know what? I really want some fish in here in home plate. I want to get.
Yeah, I mean, nobody goes to the games anyway. And literally, the dumb Marlins are so rude to their number one fan, Marlins, man. They treat them like dirts. So anybody in Florida who just moved here, that's like, man, what team should I root for? Root for the Tampa Bay Rays as they are about to take over this town, hopefully when they move to Ybor City. This has been Happy Hour. I am your host, Ryan Hoppe, along with
your co-host, AJ Zafrilla.
Signing off.
Happy Hour. Happy Hour.